The most dangerous thing you will ever carry is not a weapon, it is the truth that a government spent 20 years trying to bury. The cold hits you first. A bitter, bone-deep Iranian January, pressing through the walls of a battered vehicle parked somewhere no foreigner has any business being. Outside, the city breathes. You can hear it. The low rumble of distant engines. A dog answering another dog somewhere across the rooftops. The faint, haunting rise of a call to prayer, threading through the dark air like smoke. You are sitting completely still. You have been trained to sit completely still. Your name tonight is not your name. Your face belongs to someone who does not exist. The documents folded inside your jacket tell a story that was written in a building overseas by people who spent months making it believable. You are, by every measurable definition, a ghost. And ghosts do not get nervous. What you are about to do will change the shape of a geopolitical argument that has consumed decades of diplomacy, billions of dollars, and more than a few lives. You have 6 hours. Go back 18 months. A handler you have never seen passes you 3 words and a set of coordinates through a channel so deeply encrypted, it might as well not exist. You sit across from a man in a room that has no name, in a building you will not describe to anyone. He opens a folder. Inside it, aerial photographs. A neighborhood in the southern end of Tehran. Cracked pavement, low buildings. The kind of district where nobody asks questions because nobody expects answers worth having. Mechanics live here. Laborers, people whose daily existence is unremarkable by design. Precisely the kind of place you would never look twice at. That is exactly why they chose it. The man explains what the photographs cannot show. Buried inside that ordinary block is an archive, Project AMAD, Iran's covert nuclear weapons development program, operational from 1999 through at least 2015. The contents include over 100,000 physical documents, 55,000 digital files stored on compact discs, engineering blueprints, weapons calculations, detonation schematics, procurement trails, evidence of authorization reaching into the highest floors of the Iranian government. 32 industrial-grade steel safes. Total weight of contents, roughly 500 kilograms. The world has been told for years that Iran's nuclear ambitions are civilian in nature. These files are the proof that every word of that was a deliberate, documented lie. The man closes the folder. You have 18 months, he says. The preparation does not feel like preparation. It feels like becoming another person entirely. Intelligence assets already embedded in Iran begin feeding back granular detail about the target. Not just its location, but its life. The rhythm of nearby security patrols. The exact model and generation of the alarm systems. The blind spots in the surrounding camera network. How long each shift lasts. What time the last guard walks past. A Farsi-speaking operative enters Tehran weeks ahead of the operation. She moves through the Shorabad district like a resident who has lived there for years. She does not rush, she does not stare. Her eyes absorb every detail her expression never acknowledges. She maps the iron entry doors, the camera angles, the lock configurations, the gap between external security sweeps. She walks out of Tehran carrying more tactical intelligence in her memory than most agencies generate in a year. She walks out alive. Back in a facility no map acknowledges. A team drills on safes identical to the ones inside the warehouse. The same manufacturer, the same internal mechanisms. Cutting equipment engineered to breach steel at temperature levels that stay below the threshold of heat-sensitive alarm triggers. Each safe requires between 4 and 7 minutes. There are 32 of them. Everyone does the math. Nobody says it out loud. Then, the extraction problem. Half a metric ton of classified material cannot leave Tehran in a diplomatic pouch. It leaves in cargo trucks. Ordinary, rust-streaked, forgettable cargo trucks of the exact variety that move through southern Tehran's industrial corridors at 3 in the morning without a second glance. Multiple vehicles, multiple routes. Decoys peeling off in every direction while the vehicle that actually matters disappears into the grid. The plan is not elegant. It is precise. January arrives. The team does not arrive together. They enter Iran across different border crossings on different calendar days, carrying identities that have been aging in databases for years. Employment histories, utility records, a landlord somewhere in Europe who would confirm you were renovating a kitchen last Thursday. Fewer than 24 people, each one carrying only what they need to know. Tehran in the deep of winter is colorless and cold. You spend your first day doing exactly nothing. A cup of tea at a local shop, a slow walk that goes nowhere. You are aggressively ordinary. The operation is scheduled for the final night of January. Back to now. It is 1 minute past midnight. February has just begun. The first move belongs to the electronic team. A jamming unit floods the alarm frequencies assigned to the warehouse. No siren trips, no alert fires. Every sensor in that building quietly loses its ability to perceive the world. It does not know it is blind. It simply stops seeing. The doors take under 3 minutes. The cutting tool produces a sound like something between a hiss and a whisper, absorbed almost immediately by the ambient noise of a city that never goes fully silent. The doors open, you step inside. The torchlight finds the interior in fragments. Concrete floors, high ceilings laced with shadow. The smell of compressed time, paper, dust, cold metal, something chemical underneath it all. And then you see them. 32 gray safes, arranged in rows against 3 walls, sealed, motionless, holding the most consequential secret in the Middle East. You feel nothing. That is what training is for. The safe team begins immediately. The first breach takes 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Inside, dense stacks of technical documents, handwritten calculations, printed schematics. A second operative begins sorting and sealing with movements so practiced they look automatic. Nothing touches the floor. Nothing is mishandled. Nothing is left. You move to the next. Midway through the row, the 7th safe opens. It holds the disks, 55,000 digital files, warhead geometry, implosion lens calculations, the engineering logic of how you compress fissile material hard enough and fast enough to release the energy of a small sun, test records from hydrodynamic experiments that have no civilian application, specifications for 5 warheads, each targeting 10 kilotons, designed to sit inside the nose cone of a Shahab, 3 ballistic missile. This is what 2 decades of lying to international inspectors was protecting. This is what a rundown warehouse in a forgotten district was built to hide. At 2:15 in the morning, a voice enters your earpiece. Flat, controlled. A police patrol has been spotted 3 blocks east and moving in your general direction. The entire team goes rigid. Tools held in mid-motion. No one breathes loudly. The patrol reaches the corner of your street. It does not turn. It continues. Sound slowly returns to the warehouse. You continue. By 3:30 in the morning, 26 of the 32 safes have been opened and stripped. 6 remain. The team leader looks at the time. He looks at the 6 safes. He makes the only calculation that matters. Dawn does not negotiate. If the sun finds you in this building, no false identity in the world provides an exit. He calls the stop. The signal goes out to the decoy vehicles. One by one, they roll out. East toward the motorway, west into the old industrial zone, south toward the outer ring. The lead truck, lights off, engine throttled low, turns north. You are in the back of it. The streets of pre-dawn Tehran belong to the city's invisible workforce. Delivery runs. Night shift returns. Street maintenance. Your truck is one unremarkable shape among many. But what it carries beneath its ordinary exterior represents the kind of cargo that nations go to war over. Your driver moves from memory. Every intersection familiar, every turn rehearsed. No navigation device, no digital trail. At a Revolutionary Guard checkpoint, the truck slows. Your driver presents a logistics manifest. A bakery supply run, dated, stamped, signed, indistinguishable from the real thing. The guard studies it for a moment that stretches longer than it should. He steps back, the gate opens. The truck rolls through. You do not move. You do not speak. You exist in the particular stillness of someone who has made a private peace with every possible outcome and decided none of them are worse than failing here. At approximately 5:15 in the morning, a security officer arrives at the Shorabad facility for a routine check. He finds the iron doors folded open, the alarm panel unresponsive, the safes in rows, lids up, interiors empty, cold. Within the hour, the Iranian security apparatus activates at a scale that has rarely been seen domestically. Tens of thousands of personnel, checkpoints layering across the city, every crossing under scrutiny. They are looking for something, but the thing they are looking for is already gone. The team does not leave together. Individuals and pairs filter out of Iran across separate crossings on separate days, carrying separate documents. Over the following 72 hours, one by one, they disappear from Iranian territory. The manhunt finds nothing. Not a fingerprint, not a misplaced page, not a single face that matches anything in any database. What the files revealed reached far beyond what even the operation planners had hoped. Project AMAD, named from the Farsi word for supply, was a fully structured, state-sanctioned nuclear weapons development program. Its documentation included the physical blueprint of a spherical implosion device, the architecture of a nuclear bomb core. It included precise detonation trigger calculations, material sourcing records showing how Iran moved restricted components through front companies and international black markets, and internal correspondence demonstrating that the program had not been a rogue faction, but an authorized government initiative. When the files were later presented to investigative journalists from major international outlets, they confirmed the documents were genuine. Intelligence officials from both Britain and the United States said the same. The International Atomic Energy Agency concluded that the materials demonstrated Iran had previously engaged in nuclear weapons development work, directly contradicting every official position Tehran had publicly held for 20 years. On the 30th of April, 2018, the Israeli Prime Minister stood before cameras in Tel Aviv. Behind him, enormous screens scrolled through images of the documents, diagrams, and files your team carried out of that warehouse. Iran lied, he said. The statement was 3 weeks ahead of the 8th of May, 2018, when the United States formally exited the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. What no press conference mentions is the weight of what you carry afterward. The assets who made the operation possible, the source who first identified the warehouse, the people who spent years inside Iran building the kind of ordinary lives that let them move without suspicion, they are still there when the Iranian counterintelligence response begins. An internal purge. Scientists, officials, ministry, employees, anyone who could theoretically have been the opening through which Mossad walked. You will never know which of them survived. You also carry the 6 safes, the ones that stayed sealed. 26 opened, 6 left behind. Whatever was inside them belongs now to whatever is left of that warehouse. You will never know. The operation took 2 years to build and 1 night to execute. In an environment that rewards speed and visibility, the most successful intelligence operation of the modern era was constructed entirely on patience, on a human source inside the Iranian government who knew where the archive was and trusted the right people with that knowledge, on fewer than 24 individuals who executed under pressure with a discipline so complete that a nationwide search involving tens of thousands of security personnel could not find a single trace of them. In 2021, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani, in one of his final statements before leaving office, confirmed on the record that the archive had been stolen. He described the removed files as having been used to convince the American administration to abandon the nuclear deal. The leader of Iran, confirming publicly that a foreign intelligence service had walked into his capital city and removed his country's most protected secrets without leaving a mark. It is 4:47 in the morning. You are in the back seat of a sedan moving through the northern part of a city that does not yet know what happened inside its own borders tonight. An encrypted message arrives on a device that will be destroyed before sunrise. 2 words: package secured. You look through the window at Tehran, ancient and relentless. A city of millions that went to sleep believing its deepest secret was safe. Half a ton of that secret is now moving toward Jerusalem. You think about the source. You hope they are somewhere quiet, somewhere the purge does not reach. The sedan turns. You close your eyes. The operation is finished. What follows the collapsed agreement, the returning sanctions, the escalating enrichment, the permanent alteration of a diplomatic landscape belongs to the daylight world. What happened in the dark belongs only to the people who were in it. 32 safes, 100,000 documents, 55,000 files. The blueprint of a bomb that was never supposed to exist, hidden in a city that believed it was unreachable. And one night, fewer than 24 people proved otherwise.